The cell membrane is going to regulate what enters and leaves the cell. It also provides the protection and support. From the last lecture, we learned that the cell membrane is made up of two layers. You have these phosphate heads and lipid tails. Since they are lipid tails, they do not like water because fat does not attract water, so they're called hydrophobic. And only thing that can go through this cell membrane is anything that can be dissolved in fats. So, we are going to talk about the movement and how you get things into your cell. So first we have to understand what diffusion is. Diffusion is the movement of particles, and it's going to go from an area of high concentration to an area of low concentration. Here's a picture of that, where you have a high amount of particles, and it's going to move through the cell membrane to an area of low concentration until it's completely even. When it is completely even, that's going to be called equilibrium. That means those particles are the same on the inside of the cell and the outside of the cell. We know that our body is always trying to maintain homeostasis, and that is the same thing as equilibrium. So if you think about it, if you take in some salt, your body wants to have the same amount of salt inside of the cell as it does outside of the cell. And if it can't move through the cell membrane, we'll kind of talk about that here in a second. Now, very similar to diffusion, you have what is called osmosis. Osmosis is just the movement of water through this selectively permeable membrane. So we recall from last time, selectively permeable means that it allows some things in and others it will not allow in. And the things that your cell membrane will allow in are things that can be dissolved in fats because of those lipid tails. Now osmosis, your cell will allow water to move in and out of it, and that's going to be called osmosis. So you can see on the left side there's a high concentration of particles. So this is sugar molecules. So there's really a lot of sugar over here and not much here. So in osmosis, the water would actually move to where it's more concentrated. So the water is going to move to the left side of the semi-permeable membrane, and you can see the water is decreasing on this side and it's going to be increasing on this side. And you're going to try to make that solution the same concentration throughout. Now there's different types of solutions that you can have. You can have a hypertonic. So let's say you took your cell and you put it in a hypertonic solution. This is an example of it. So there's 20% salt solution on the outside. That's the hypertonic solution. And on the inside of the cell there's only 10%. So therefore it is called a hypertonic solution because it's higher on the outside. A hypotonic solution it's going to be lower on the outside. So over here is a hypotonic solution. So if you put the cell in this solution, it's lower on the outside than it is on the inside. An isotonic solution means it's the same. So you have the 10% on the outside and 10% on the inside. Now what happens in these solutions, specifically with cells, a hypertonic solution, since it's higher on the outside, water is going to move out of the cell, and the cell is going to begin to shrink. This would be like if you're dehydrated. Let's say you ate a lot of salt, and there's a lot of salt around your cells. Well, this water from inside of your cells is going to be moving out, and it's going to cause your cells to shrink. On the opposite side, you have a hypotonic solution. This means, so you've heard of people, sometimes they drink too much water. This is if it is lower on the outside, so therefore water is going to start moving into the cells, and like this shows right here, it could possibly burst. And the last one, which we all want our cells to be in, is an isotonic solution. And this is, it's even in and out, and although it's even, water moves in and out equally. So it just keeps them at the same exact size that you're looking for to maintain homeostasis.